Thank you very much. Thank you very much, colleagues. We are just going to have a quick interaction with the Secretary General of the ANC on the occasion of memorializing the former Secretary General of the ANC who became an SG at the age of 40, Adv Duma Nokwe, the first black advocate in our country. And I am here with the SG. The SG is also accompanied by two other leaders of the ANC in our province, Comrade Hope Papa, well known to you, who is the coordinator of the provincial task team of Gauteng. And next to the Secretary General is Comrade Thulani Kunene, the chair of the ANC in this region. With that said, I am going to ask either SG make remarks or we can ask members of the media to fire away. It's entirely up to you.
Today mark yet another important occasion in the repatriation work, but in the work of remembering our fallen heroes and leaders. This week is very special to the African National Congress because it will lead us to Saturday, where we will rebury the remains of the former Secretary General, Comrade Duma Nokwe, former Secretary General of the African National Congress. And that will happen on Saturday. And the event will be, the burial will be addressed by the President of the African National Congress, and will also be attended by veterans of the ANC. We expect, among others, former President as well, Mbeki, to be present. And we also expect him to also address the occasion of the reburial of the former Secretary General, as we made the request. By the time I came here, I had no indication otherwise. But that is the plan for Saturday. We want to thank our province here in Gauteng, the provincial task team, led here by Comrade Nomantu, the deputy, the deputy chairman, reconfiguration, the deputy coordinator and the coordinator, Comrade Hope Papo, and the chair of Sidibeng region of the ANC, Comrade Thulani. They organized a very important occasion, which the occasion in itself was about retracing the steps, but to be educational. So our lecture was really focused on that, to talk about the life and times of Comrade Duma Nokwe. This region has done a very important work in terms of retracing the steps, but honoring Comrade Duma Nokwe, but also been educational to the membership of the ANC, because Comrade Duma Nokwe was very special. As a patriot, but also as a leader of the African National Congress, and is an inspiration in many ways to generations to come. As you see the platform today, we shared with young people who are aspiring, and some of them who are attorneys practicing and all of that, were with us here and talking about their own aspirations. So it tells you what kind of a phenomenal person, activist, a revolutionary, of the African National Congress, Comrade Duma Nokwe was to our liberation struggle. So we are proud today in the sequence of activities that today we had this memorial lecture. On Saturday will be the big one, where the president and leaders will talk about the life and times, but celebrate and also look into the future about the challenges that we are facing as a nation and our country going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade SG. I am going to take hands. Let's start with Times Live and then SNBC.
Lisa Gatandwa, Sunday Times. Nobala, you spoke at length about his work internationally. You spoke about him being an international envoy. Now, if you bring it closer to this time where we're faced with this dilemma as it relates to the United States of America and our citizens who seem to have this idea that there is a genocide here in South Africa. Mr. Donald Trump has signaled or indicated that there is a meeting with the president next week. I just want clarity on what you think. How should South Africa, as the government, how should they approach that engagement with Mr. Trump, given what we've seen about how Mr. Trump treats and reacts to his allies?
As a country, we must never stop to entertain shuttle diplomacy, and government must do that work in terms of engaging anyone who tempers on our sovereignty or anyone who's got misgivings about our country, and in particular the United States of America, which is a complete distortion. The question that there is a genocide and the killing of a particular race group in our country, that must be dispelled. The ANC support the President of South Africa meeting with the President of the United States of America and to engage because since the inauguration we have received the reports that they've been talking over the phone, but it will be the first time since the new president has been elected of the United States that he'll be talking to our president amidst all these negative, distorted developments we have read about, which the President of the United States, which is worrisome, seem to believe in those distortions. Nonetheless, it is a coterie of few people who are perpetrating these lies about our country. And we will continue to work with all South Africans, black and white, to defend South Africa's sovereignty and also to showcase our patriotism in defending our country. And we have seen that from all walks of life, black and white, business, and everyone, to say that these things that have been spread in the US untruths about South Africa. So we welcome the possibility of our president meeting with President Trump, because we respect the outcome of the United States of America elections as Democrats down south, but nonetheless we respect the outcome and the will of the people of the United States to elect President Trump as their president. But in this particular instance, it is important that our president must lead the charge in defending his own country and his own people against distortions which are clearly blatant, in a way. So those steps are necessary for our country. And we know that South Africa, led by President Ramaphosa, will do everything in their power to defend South Africa's sovereignty and its in her own integrity among nations of the world. So we are very much welcoming to that effort on the part of South African government.
Mr. BC?
It's Natasha Perry here from SABC News. I think Liz has covered me with the first question, but just the second one, I think you would have seen the unemployment figures of the first quarter of 2025 rising to 32.9%. Perhaps the ANC's reaction to that, especially ahead of the budget that will be tabled next week.
We want jobs, and the rising figures of unemployment are a big challenge for our economy. As the ANC, in the next coming National Executive Committee, our biggest focus is going to be on the economy. How do we grow the economy? We know government have started this discussion and will want to contribute to that discussion of the new economic trajectory and to address the challenges that we are facing in terms of jobless growth. Budget, as we would have said in the beginning, what we supported as the ANC was a budget that is pro-growth, and that address unemployment, and that is also pro-poor. Pro-poor in the sense that it seeks to intervene and address what is in the ANC manifesto of addressing the question of social spending. But over and above that, we need to respond to the challenges that are hampering, but at the same time that lead to employment creation in our country. So those figures are a big challenge that we need to respond to. And as an ANC, as an organization, as a party, from now onwards, we will be contributing in terms of ideas and otherwise on the question of employment creation and growth in the economy.
Thank you very much.
Just one last question, sorry, it's two-pronged. It's your delegation met with the Afrikaner Network Afrikaner Council of Networks. You'll forgive my phrasing. Perhaps you could share with us, Nobala, what exactly was the engagement and the resolutions that came out of that meeting. And secondly, Nobala, there's been this question around who exactly is going to be the next ambassador to the United States. I know this is not your competence, but I'm sure the ANC has its opinions. Some people have said that the president maybe should appoint someone who looks the part, and I think that you understand when I say looks the part. There's been suggestions around Mr. Andries Nel. He looks the part, he's an ANC cadre, he understands the policies of South Africa. What's the perspective of the ANC?
Thank you for the question, but we defer that to the president in terms of dealing with the question of the deployment of ambassadors. We think that we are now, 64 million people? And we will get anyone out of these 64 million to represent us in the United States. I think the president at the right moment will determine as to who will fill up the shoes of Ibrahim Rasool. Rasool was capable as a person, but there was a diplomatic error that he committed, and the Americans then declared him persona non grata in terms of the Geneva Convention. Even though we felt that it was too harsh, but nonetheless, they are a sovereign state, anyone can do that, we can do that. We can demarch people, we can declare them persona non grata. As a diplomat in the household of another country, there are certain things that people can hold you accountable about because you are an invitee. You are serving in that country at their behest. You declare your credentials. So there was nothing wrong with Rasool's credentials in that regard. But nonetheless, our government responded swiftly and recognized that we cannot lock ourselves into a battle that we cannot win. And in this particular regard, we are confident that the president will appoint a suitable South African who can represent our country in the United States. We are happy with anyone, so we are not going to prescribe. We believe that out of 64 citizens of our country, there's one person who will represent our country diligently in terms of doing work on this particular post in the United States of America. What was your question?
African Leadership Network.
No, I mean, the discussion with the Afrikaner leadership is ongoing. It is not pinned on a resolution. We're discussing issues of the history of the country, promoting dialogue. We are going to the national dialogue. We must discuss difficult issues. There will be no holy cows. In terms of issues we can discuss. We reflected on the question of patriotism, national debate and national consensus, which cut across race. And as a people who regard ourselves as South Africans, it is important that we must look at the situation of our country in terms of how can people contribute in terms of their skills to building an economy that works, and that's what is important to us. but also internationalism. I mean, South Africa's foreign policy is important that it must also be respected. And most of these things can be won on the table by just promoting a conversation. Of course, they've got reservations about some of the laws, and we engage with them on such. Can it be Expropriation Act, which went to be distorted even in the White House? And then can it be on the issues of land? We need to have a conversation with them on that, not talk past each other. The most important thing about that meeting was the willingness to get around the table and talk. I mean, there you had the PAC, you had Afrikaner networks from AfriForum and Solidarity and all other, important formations in our country, and sometime robust, but at the end of the day, most welcome engagement. So, as the ANC, we are going to be continuing with this, leading and going beyond the national dialogue, which will be convened and so on. But as a party, we are committed fully to talking to everyone in South Africa, and even showcase to them that how some of their activities harm the sovereignty, and at the same time bring into question their own commitment to national consensus and patriotism to South Africa.
No blood on the walls.
No, there's no blood.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, colleagues.
Thank you.
We are done. Thank you.